There's no question that the project was extremely difficult, driven by a number of factors, one being seasonality.
Well, the Aurora program started here roughly around the first of the summer. A lot of changes to start with. Other than that, a lot of people didn't know what to think.
We went from a stage where apprehension was probably the greatest mood within the organization, and particularly within the Halifax office.
It was very frustrating. It was a lot of extra work. There was a lot of changes to be made, and change don't come easy.
And it was a very new way of thinking, and it challenged a lot of old myths about our business.
Communication, accountability, and performance measurement are probably the three key items that organizations should focus on. Those three items were not present before Aurora.
Aurora really didn't tell us anything we didn't already know, but what they did teach us was how to get there.
And as the group proceeded to actually gain some support, and as they began to get support systems and processes in place, we saw the entire company, the management team, as well as the employees really start to endorse the whole process.
The biggest question forwarded to myself is, what exactly do you focus on? And I guess it'd be employees' morale, employees' job satisfaction, making sure employees are typically happy.
The most difficult part of the Aurora project was the change in our everyday behavior.
Employee satisfaction with their jobs was not very high. When an HR manager comes in, you stick the little happy thermometer in, and it was kind of cool.
It used to, at one time it was go out and do your day, and that was all, all people want to hear.
Because pre-Aurora was the driver had his day and off he went, and he was accountable for his day, and he would come in when it was done.
The Aurora group, they seem to be able to troubleshoot if we have problems throughout the day.
The productivity is way up. I notice a lot more cases going out per man and less overtime.
People now working smarter versus harder and longer, and people just feeling much more in control of the distribution component of their job.
And ultimately, employees feeling like they contribute to the success of the organization.
Probably the biggest thing that they did for Coca-Cola Halifax was they refined our communication process. And what I mean by that is the cyclical communication process between the DSICs, the warehouse, and the sales department.
All of the people that this project will touch need to be dialogued with up front, engaged in the process, clearly understand what the objectives of this process are, and also the expectations of those individuals.
What we have is a daily meeting on what happened yesterday, what's going to happen today, and where we're going tomorrow. Every morning we sit down, we go over the plan, so it starts with the sale, then it's up to Jerry in the warehouse to load by call on the trucks, and then it's up to Nick to make sure that the plan is carried through in the trade.
What Operation Aurora done is made me look more in the global picture. It made me look more at the whole operation. Instead of warehousing, maybe look at sales and distribution and how I could work within that system to make it a more smooth and efficient system.
We are fighting less fires now, and we're more disciplined, more focused, and we're doing much better planning.
Well, one of the big things that Aurora has done is when they came, they set up a daily plan for the drivers. We know where the driver is at any given time. We know how long it's going to take them to do the call, and all this was done with driver input.
They've had the trucks loaded by stop per bay, and it seems to work out great. You spend less time running around a truck digging out products.
Your truck is in the parking lot, let's say, for a less time than it would be tying up their customers coming into their store.
And the receivers and the store managers just love seeing your, in and out real fast.
Aurora has helped us in the warehouse in taking waste out of the system. When product goes out, it don't come back.
There's more communication between the workers and management, and also at the store level.
We've been able to convey, the customers' attitude and their expectations of us as, sales drivers. It certainly added time to our day where we're able to focus on doing a better job in the accounts and stores and overall make the customers more happy.
And the risk prior to Aurora was that financially we were not going to be able to continue to provide that level of service because it just wasn't cost effective. So it may not be such an issue that the customers noticed anything different, but had we not done this project, they definitely would have noticed a difference because driven by the costs, we were going to be forced to start to cut back service frequency and effectiveness.
Most of the benefits that we've seen are really processes, documents, and measuring tools that as a management group and as a group of employees that we've been able to use to more effectively measure our performances, to take corrective actions on a timely basis, and really to improve the overall efficiencies and to control our own destiny as far as costs within the system.
Setting goals and targets where you want to be and then measuring each step along the way. And it's truly satisfying at the end of a week or end of a month or end of the project to be able to see the progress that we've made, real progress not only against our year ago targets and numbers, but against what our planned targets and numbers are as well.
I was able to work directly with Eve and Eric, and they showed me exactly what they use the numbers for, the measurements that they take, exactly like by department, what kind of impact the numbers have on our overall look at our operation here in the Maritimes.
We are just now beginning to reap the benefits of the great efforts of the Aurora team.
We realized the value that the Aurora processes could bring to our overall business and help us managing our business on a day-to-day basis. So if there was short-term pain, we certainly see longer-term gain in terms of commitment and just the discipline that we have in place with regard to the measurements and the tracking of our sales and distribution costs.
We all now feel that we have more control over our destiny. We understand what is expected of us. We're able to measure that. And as a result, people for the most part are happier within the workplace today than they were 3.5 months ago.
I hope things don't go back to the way they were before the Aurora program. I've had an opportunity to see the actual numbers and to see the change in our organization, and it's definitely a better organization.
I don't think it would be a great idea if we went back to before the Aurora program because of the steps, the positive steps that we've made since then.
If you ask the drivers, they with the new plan, they wouldn't want to go back the way it was, because what they now have is they know when they look in the morning, they know what their day's work is involved, how long it's going to take, and they know that they're going to be done in 8 hours and they can go home.
If it had to go back to the way it was, they'd be a burnout system in a very short time.
The little happy thermometer has warmed in a big way, considerably in the last 6 months.
People work together a little bit more communication. Days seem to be going a lot smoother than what it used to be before.
I think people have been very impressed and welcome this change.
This team here, the Aurora, I believe that things are coming along strong and it's going to be looking good for the future.
I have not seen a process as successful as this one.
You really have to buy into the system and the process and keep the faith that things are going to improve after a little upfront work.
The Aurora will put the system in place, but it's up to them to manage the system.
I know they'll do a good job, and I wish them every success in Quebec.
I think it's been a very positive attitude change for the entire Halifax office, and I look forward to being part of it as we roll it out into other cities within the Maritimes.
The faster you can get this project done, the faster you'll realize the benefits.